Hey guys, hope you're doing well this week. It's 31st of January 2024 and we're going to try something new here for Future Forecasting Group. What I'm going to do on a bi-weekly basis is go through some of the paranormal news that's going on out there, some of the woo-woo, some of the strange stuff that I've encountered on YouTube, in the news, and on spaces like Twitter. So with that, let's get to my first piece of news here for you today. Former Pentagon UFO investigator is pissed because Congress believes in conspiracy theories. Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick had a few choice words for the public on his way out of the door at the Pentagon's All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office. Sean Kirkpatrick was once the man in charge of a DC-backed agency tasked with investigating claims into unidentified anomalous phenomenon. The new term for what most people still call UFOs is now called UAPs. He stepped down from the position in December and has now published a farewell letter in Scientific American detailing some of the reasons why. So why did he stop hunting for UFOs on behalf of the American government? In short, because congressional leaders believe in conspiracy theories with absolutely no substantial proof. And this comes from his own comments here. Our efforts were ultimately overwhelmed by sensational but unsupported claims that ignored contradictory evidence yet captured the attention of policymakers and public, driving legislative battles and dominating the public narrative, he went on to say. According to Kirkpatrick, what the AARO discovered was a web of governmental leaders who believed in bizarre conspiracy theories that were willing to spend taxpayer dollars on it, and he succinctly laid out the ufologist view of the world. He says their view is the US has been hiding and attempting to reverse engineer as many as 12 UAPs from as early as the 1960s and perhaps earlier. This great cover-up and conspiracy failed to produce any salient results, and consequently the effort was abandoned to some private sector defense contractors to continue the work. Sometime later, the story continues, these private sector contractors wanted to bring the whole program back under the US government auspices, and apparently the CIA stopped this supposed transfer back to the United States government. There's more on that if that won't interest you. As with all these news bites, I'll be providing all the links down below for you to check them out, and most of them are video because video is the way to go right now. So that's an interesting one. Lots of negative comments about Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick on Twitter. I'll leave you to find those. Okay, my next piece of news out there for you conspiracy theories is Mark Zuckerberg spent $187 million secretly buying 1,600 acres of Hawaii land, and now he is reportedly building a massive self-sustaining apocalypse bunker. So Mark Zuckerberg is reportedly constructing an extensive compound in Kauai, Hawaii, featuring a unique blend of luxury and survivalist elements. The compound, known as Kula Ranch, is set to include a 5,000 square foot underground bunker, complete with its own energy and food supplies. The bunker's design incorporates a metal door filled with concrete, a common feature found in bunkers and bomb shelters. The project, which reflects a growing trend amongst Silicon Valley elites for preparedness and luxury, is estimated to cost around about $100 million to build, on top of the $170 million he spent acquiring the land. That brings the total investment to approximately $270 million, and this is according to online magazine Wired. The project has been shrouded in secrecy since the beginning, and workers on the ranch are required to sign strict non-disclosure agreements, and reports indicate people have been fired for posting on social media that they're even working on the project. Workers on the compound undergo constant surveillance from hundreds of cameras and military-style security measures that have been implemented across the ranch. The methods to acquire the land also give rise to issues and speculation. Zuckerberg initially hid the purchase of the land using shell companies and brokers to disguise them. The sprawling 1,400 acre compound is planned to house more than just the bunker. It will include over 30 bedrooms and bathrooms, 2 mansions connected by a tunnel to the bunker, and nearly a dozen tree houses linked by rope bridges. The tree houses are designed to provide guests with immersive treetop experience. and the compound will also feature a fitness center, a guest houses, and other operational buildings. Again, with the news, there's more on that down below there, if that one interests you. Very interesting. He's not the only one building bunkers right now. And with all the things going on in the world right now, with all the wars and stuff, you can see why. Now, my next piece of news here is really interesting. It's a video that came out several days ago. And it's one everyone here should watch, especially if you're into woo-woo type subjects. And essentially, it's a 3-hour program, so you really have to delve into it. But it's called the UFO Coverup, the Wikipedia Secret Cabal. And essentially it's all about a researcher called Rob Haverly, and he exposed essentially a cover-up that we didn't expect. It's a well-organized secret cabal of 150 specially trained debunker editors, and they're organized by a California-based non-profit organization. And they're essentially, what they're doing is they're trained to rewrite and re-edit Wikipedia pages. So they rewrite Wikipedia pages on the topics of the paranormal, tarot, UFOs, all the people like the whistleblowers, Elizondo, David Grusch, all the top scientists like Garry Nolan, Hal Puthoff, and many more. And what they do is they edit these pages to put them in a pseudoscience, non-scientific light. Now, interestingly, the group is headed by a woman, and the woman has spent 25 years working for the US Department of Defense on psychological warfare projects. That can all be tracked. Watch the video, they highlight the group. They even do online training, and they do training conferences for these people to teach them how to edit the Wikipedia pages in the best format. And you know, anyone goes in, tries to change it, they show you in the documentary that they also counter that. As you can see here, here's the group now. Here's the woman that runs it. They're called the Guerrilla Skeptics. Watch the whole video, it's very good, and there's even a follow-up video if you want to watch that even further. Fantastic there. But shocking news showing just the levels that some people in government are going to spread disinformation. You know, there's no, you know, it's not a coincidence that the woman heading all this works for the Department of Defense and Psychological Warfare. That's all I'm saying. Great video, have a look at that. It's astounding to see what's going on there. My next video I have here is a great video from a great friend of mine, Jeffrey. He does these videos called New Thinking Aloud. It's been going on for many, many years. Great videos. Here's a new one that's literally just come out. It's an hour 30, and it's the Secret Space Program, and it's an interview with Richard Dolan. It's very good. It's worth watching, especially if you're into that kind of stuff. Both colleagues really know what they're talking about, so it's a good interplay between them. Have a look at that if that topic interests you. Now, my next thing you should watch or listen to, this is a podcast. It's the Joe Rogan Experience, episode 2091, and it's got a person on it called Diana Walsh-Pascuala. It goes on for 2 hours 17 minutes, and Diana is a writer and professor of religious studies at the University of North Carolina, and her latest book, Encounters, details experiences with non-human intelligence. And it's a really serious discussion between Joe Rogan and her on what's going on. Very interesting. Because it's a podcast, you can essentially listen to that one anywhere, so it's good as you're working. The next one I have for you today is a great article. It's a review essentially of the Havana Syndrome, which is a podcast that people are listening to. Great podcast. If you haven't heard of the Havana Syndrome, I'll give you a quick overview of it here. It's an ill-fitting term picked up by the press and popular culture since reports of State Department attachés and CIA agents working undercover are affected by something which is literally capable of leaving permanent brain injuries. And this has happened all across the world, and it's been investigated for quite a few years now. And they kind of think it might be some kind of microwave beam weapon. It's a great podcast. This is just a review of the podcast here, so it's telling you a bit of the overview here. And it's got the links to the podcast itself. And check out the podcast. Very interesting topic, very woo. We don't really know what's going on there. But on top of this as well, I run a group called Hellfire Club, and it's a group of curated remote viewers, some of the best out there on the circuit, and we work woo targets. Around about a year ago, we did actually work the Havana Syndrome to see what was causing it using remote viewing. So check out the links for that as well, and the videos there if you have a look at that, and there's lots of feedback there as well. So if you want to learn about what's going on with that weird subject, loads of information there for you on that one. And my final piece of news for you today is this one. It's 8 news. 8 news now. It goes on for 4 minutes, and it's the first part of a 3-part series, and it's going to be like the breakdown of history on alleged UFO crashes. So it's just got some basic information in there, so that's some interesting stuff as well. So that's pretty much it for this week. As I said, the big disclosure is this really bad Wikipedia cabal that's been editing pages to make everything look like pseudoscience when it's actually not, and there's some really serious scientists involved. And it looks like they got $5 million worth of funding from somewhere. And as I said, the person that backs it is that person that does psychological warfare and other stuff. So make of that what you will. So that's it for today. Hopefully we'll be back in a couple of weeks with more paranormal news for you. Be safe out there. Namaste. See you next time.